We'll call the regular Board of Education meeting to order and have roll call, please.
White,
Here.
Walker,
Here.
Frisbee,
Here.
Maycumber,
Yes.
Winterick.
Here.
The reading of the mission statement by Director Winterick.
Our mission is to engage, inspire, and empower students and staff in order to maximize learning.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Are there any changes?
There's one addition. We have a resignation from Kirsten Field as an instructional assistant.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept the agenda with revision.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as revised. Roll call vote.
Walker,
Yes.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Maycumber,
Yes.
Winterick,
Yes.
White.
Yes, motion carried 5-0. Agenda item 4, welcome the visitors and have public comment. Anyone care to make any public comment this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on to agenda 5, comments by board members and superintendent, and we'll begin with Dr. Cox.
Thank you. Most of our teachers are taking advantage of some optional professional learning days today through Wednesday, and as one of the options, we're excited to have 2 teachers here from High Tech High providing professional development about project-based learning. First day conferences for our students are in grades K through 4 are next Monday from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Parents, you can still sign up at the website, charlescityschools.org. Orientation for new students in grades 5 through 12 also is next Monday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. In that time frame, information is posted at our website. Comet Drive, we've made an important change in how traffic flows. It will now be 2-way along the outermost part of Comet Drive, continuing past the new bus barn and onto the high school parking lot. The drop-off zone in front of the middle school remains 1-way only. And we have a new parking lot that we've added here at the middle school, and that is for staff and for event parking. There is only one entrance and one exit, and cars must turn right when they're exiting onto the bus loop. All visitors should continue to park in the large main lot and enter through the main doors. We have a 5K coming up, so if you have not registered yet or signed up, you can do so at our website, charlescityschools.org, and there will be a kids fun run to follow at Washington afterward. Also, I'll put a plug in for our school activity calendars that are currently being sold through the music department. And we want to thank Officer Vetter for his service as a school resource officer. He has a retirement reception tomorrow. I see. And so I think that's a quick listing of a lot of things going on in the district.
Thank you.
21st is picture day.
Oh, sure. One additional announcement. On the 21st for students in grades K through 4, it is also picture day. So sign up for your 15-minute first day conference and bring your student in for their school picture as well.
Very good. Any board members have comments?
I attended a High Tech High presentation this afternoon. I wish I had a kid that I could send back to school, or I wish I could go back to school. It's very exciting. The teachers are exciting. The project they're talking about is exciting. Parents, listen to what your kids have to say from the middle school and high school and elementary school. There's some exciting things that are going to happen this year with the way that they're going to be learning. Some fun, different ways, real life experience ways of learning.
Thank you.
I was just going to add that, Scott, you and I did attend the new teacher breakfast, and that was last Friday, and looked like a great bunch of new teachers and lots of energy and enthusiasm, and glad to have them as part of our school district. And our administrators were doing a great job of welcoming them and getting them up to speed with the way we do things here as Comets.
Thank you for that. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to agenda item 6, the Labor Management Committee.
So the association has agreed to the 4 members on each side that the board proposed at the last meeting. Your task tonight is to choose who you would like to appoint from the board side. And then once that has been done, we'll set up the time that the group will start to meet, the when and the where and how often.
Any preference for board members?
Since I've been on negotiations, I would feel comfortable taking the position.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that the community member perhaps should be somebody who is, who has some involvement with their job in HR. I think that would be helpful.
Human relations.
Human resources, yes.
Resource,
uh-huh.
yep, okay.
And that might mean a bigger company perhaps, but it also might mean too, even just if you can't find somebody, maybe just a small businessman too, or woman. And a teacher, I have some ideas on that, and we can maybe approach that person privately, or those people privately.
Has anyone reached out to a community member?
Not as yet, no.
Not as
No.
yet?
Mm-mm. I don't really know the staffing, at some of these big companies, who that person would be in HR.
Would we like to have the administration reach out on our behalf? Is that an option?
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Okay. It says action. How about at the present time, I'll just appoint Robin to be the board member? Or do we want to make a motion?
How about on the teacher that we give administration the names that come to mind, and they can coordinate that perhaps?
Is the intent that the board have a motion to appoint these people? Is that why it's an action item?
It's the board who needs to appoint the committee, so if you would like to send recommendations to me to reach out and bring back some confirmation from folks who would like to serve at the August
There you
28th
go,
meeting.
that's what I'm
That would be
looking
great.
for.
I
And
just
then you
don't want
could
to,
make-
I just don't want to announce names here.
Right,
Without having
without having spoken with them first.
Right.
an agreement ahead of time.
Sure.
Right. If you want to give us that task, we can do that for the next meeting too, but I would rather give it to administration.
I would agree. Can we have some kind of a motion then to appoint you and do the direction and bring the rest of
Let's
the
see.
names back?
All right, I move to appoint Robin as our board member for the Labor Management Committee, and ask that administration work to help find that community member and a teacher to serve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to appoint Robin as the board member and ask administration to assist us in finding the community member and teacher. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Maycumber.
Yes.
Wittering,
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Dyke.
Yes, motion carried 5-0. Agenda item 7, the lift bus bid approval.
Excuse me, do we need to go back to that and talk about, or maybe we need to wait until we really have the composition of that committee set to determine when, where, how often they meet?
Right.
Just wait?
And maybe
Okay.
they'll make that decision that
Okay,
it's an option.
committee, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Or are you looking for our direction?
I would think that the committee members, because it'll be their schedules
Yep.
that have to be open on both sides.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. Lift bus. What do we got going there?
We need to
a new
replace
one.
the lift bus that we currently have, so there's a recommendation for a replacement from Jerry Mitchell, Director of Transportation.
The cost scheduled into his annual Pebble sales tax allotment, or,
No, it is in our special ed
oh,
funding.
okay.
Right.
oh,
Did we receive additional special ed funding for this?
No.
Or this will attribute to a potential deficit?
Correct.
Okay.
Motion to accept the bid from school bus sales for $94,094 for a 25-passenger bus as presented.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the bid from school bus sales for $94,094 for a 25-passenger bus as presented. Any other comments or questions from the board? Roll call vote, please.
Maycumber?
Yes.
Wittering?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Frisbee?
Yes.
Dyke?
Yes, motion carried 5-0. Agenda item 8, service opportunities.
We have some opportunities for community members to serve the school district. On our School Improvement Advisory Committee, we're looking for 2 parents that have school-aged children, and we're looking for 2 community members who don't have kids in school to join the School Improvement Advisory Committee for the 2017-18 school year. The application is due on Thursday, August the 31st. It's available at our website, charlescityschools.org. In addition, it is currently open for juniors and seniors at Charles City High School who have an interest in serving as the student board member to submit their information. That is due on Thursday, August 24th, so 1 week prior to the SIAC applications. Again, it's available at our website, and we have a question from our cameraman.
Is my term for SIAC up? Do I need to reapply for that?
And so we have a question about the student positions. All student positions are 1 year, so all students will be reapplying if they'd like to remain. Yes. Yeah. So community and for parent, they have 2-year terms, and we happen to have 2 openings for each of those.
And so those juniors and seniors, for the student board member, would need to go either to their school email,
Go to their school email
because it was sent to that, or to the school website.
or to the school website. Preferably just go to the website.
There you
There's
go.
a box that says student board member. Click on it, the application form is there, and all of the related information is there as well. And we'll continue, we've pushed that out on our social media platform. We'll continue to do that as well, as a reminder, because that is coming up 10 days from now.
Yeah, and I would say to our teachers too, if they think of some juniors or seniors that would be good candidates, to please encourage them. You know, they're busy getting ready for school, they're busy with so many things as school begins, and this deadline is like that's the first week, isn't it?
It is.
So, you know, teachers, you know, please be thinking and tap some people to possibly send in that application.
Well, they do need to do a written essay and have 1 letter of recommendation from a teacher, counselor, or administrator, so, yes.
So,
Good point.
a lot.
Thank you. Agenda item 9, the approval of elementary student handbook. We have that in our packet. Anyone have any questions about the changes for the elementary?
No, I move to approve the elementary student handbook as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the elementary student handbook as presented. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Wittering?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Frisbee?
Yes.
Maycumber?
Yes.
Dyke?
Yes, motion carried 5-0. Agenda item 10, approval of elementary PBIS handbook for 17-18.
I don't know that you've seen this before, and as all of our handbooks go to the board for approval, we're bringing this. We'll have the middle school one on August 28th.
I'll make a motion to approve the elementary, or excuse me, I'll make a motion to approve the elementary student handbook as presented. Elementary PBIS handbooks.
Yeah, it's the PBIS.
Okay, let me amend that to approve the elementary PBIS handbook as presented.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the elementary PBIS handbook as presented. And just since this seems to be a different acronym, and the first time we've actually had access to approving this handbook, it stands for Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports.
Yeah, and you know, I'm glad to hear you say that we haven't seen this before, because I enjoyed reading this handbook, believe it or not.
The little
and
chants were fun.
As I read it, I'm thinking, gee, I don't remember reading this before.
Yeah, I didn't either, but
So, but I do appreciate the emphasis on teaching children, you know, and this again is for elementary school kids, but teaching them good manners and respect and responsibility and what's the fourth thing? Character, you know, to teach them how to be good citizens in school. I appreciate that rather than head to the office and see the principal and you know, I just don't think anybody wins that way. So that was a good thing. The other thing I enjoyed is the Comet Camp, which is interesting. Did you read about that? So I don't know that I can really explain it all, but I guess if kids do end up in trouble, they go to Comet Camp, and there's some very positive things that they engage in to help them learn, you know, what they should do the next time or to think closer about making certain decisions. So parents out there with kids in elementary school, you know, this is a great thing for the kids as they're learning and wiggling and touching each other and tempted to get into trouble, and but they're going to learn how to do things the right way, and it's going to be positive.
any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Walker?
Yes.
Frisbee?
Yes.
Maycumber?
Yes.
Winery?
Yes.
Dyke?
Yes, motion carried 5-0. Agenda item 11, approval of secondary student handbook. Any comments or questions about the secondary student handbook?
See, there was a change about the backpacks for the middle school owners only. I just wanted to maybe draw attention to that since it is a change. It says the middle school only carrying backpacks into the classroom requires teacher permission prior to entering the classroom.
And as we sit here with all of the learning spaces surrounding this large gather space, that makes a lot of sense that there's not a need to carry your stuff long distances. It's easily accessible within a couple of seconds.
Thank you. I just thought maybe we'd bring that to the attention so the public can hear, and
Yep.
maybe some parents will hear and understand the explanation for that and reconsider those backpacks.
Now, did we have a combo handbook last year, middle school, high school, or is this the first year for this?
I believe it's the first year of the combined.
Okay.
Now, I could be wrong.
I was thinking it was too. I don't
The
know.
first year?
I thought
Yeah.
it was combined.
I thought it was combined last year.
Was it combined last year? Okay. Well, it looks good. It's efficient and easy that way, rather than having so many handbooks. And I see Carrie Lane is part of this too, rather than them having their own handbook. It's good. So I move to approve the secondary student handbook as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the secondary student handbook. Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Frisbee?
Yes.
Maycumber?
Yes.
Winery?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Dyke?
Yes, motion carried 5-0. Agenda item 12, the employee handbook.
We've had an employee handbook for a long time. This one looks much different than previous versions that you've seen. It is a template that came from the Iowa Association of School Boards that then I just took the information from our old handbook and plugged it into this new formatting. And obviously with the changes in Chapter 20, some of the things that had been in a collective bargaining agreement with the Support Staff Association has transitioned into the handbook as well.
I think it looks great.
Motion to approve the employee handbook as presented.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the employee handbook. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Maycumber?
Yes.
Winery?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Frisbee?
Yes.
Dyke?
Yes, motion carried 5-0. Agenda item 13, the financial report.
This month, you have pretty much just the cash analysis as normal for the July month. We're working on year end, but one item I'll point out in the July changes is that the health fund balance is increased like 30% from last year. You can look at that as a good or a bad thing. We, at negotiations time, decreased our premiums by 11% in order to use up some of that excess, but it all depends on our claims. If Wellmark's actuaries were incorrect in giving prices, our prices will probably be off as well. But, yeah, so we reduced premiums 11%.
I think that's a great benefit.
Motion to accept the July 2017 financial reports as presented.
I second it.
Been moved and seconded to approve the financial reports as presented. Any other questions? Roll call vote.
Wittering,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Maycumber.
Yes.
Dyke.
Yes, motion carried 5-0. Agenda item 14, the consent agenda as amended.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Roll call vote, please.
Walker,
Yes.
Frisbee.
Yes.
Maycumber.
Yes.
Wittering,
Yes.
Dyke.
Yes, motion carried 5-0. Agenda item 15, the annual notice to parents.
So I'll read this so that it's captured for the public. The General Education Intervention, or GEI process, is available to all students. This process is interactive and ongoing. It involves teams of individuals collaborating with one another to create academic and behavioral intervention designed to meet the diverse needs of individual students. Members of the GEI teams include parents, educators, caregivers, administrators, Central Rivers AEA support staff, and others who are knowledgeable about the educational needs of a student. The purpose of our GEI process is to identify and implement academic and behavioral intervention strategies that address individual student needs in general education classroom settings. The GEI process involves direct and frequent monitoring of student progress in the area of concern. It is also part of the assessment process that is used to determine whether or not a student needs to be considered for special education services. And that's an annual notice that we provide to parents.
Thank you. Agenda item 16, correspondence and miscellaneous.
I think you had a note from the Iowa Association of School Boards.
Oh, for the,
Thank you.
Yes.
yep, we did have that. Important upcoming dates.
So again, back to school conferences for grades K through 4 next Monday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. School pictures for Washington and Lincoln students only on that day. Again, an open house at the middle school and high school. Open house tomorrow again for Officer Vetter. Classes begin for the new school year on Wednesday, August 23rd. That's the first legal date according to school law. Again, that 5K school-to-school event is at 8:30 a.m. on August 26th. And we'll be back here on August 28th for the next regular board meeting.
Do you know, I remember reading this in the paper. Do you remember the time for Officer Vetters
4 to 6.
4 to 6.
Okay.
4 to 6 tomorrow.
at the city?
City
chamber?
Hall.
City Hall. Yeah.
Yeah, city
chambers.
council chambers.
Thank you.
Agenda item 18, consideration of closed session. We need to have a motion.
I make a motion to go into closed session.
Should we recess and let people?
Oh, sure.
Okay, we're gonna, and because we're going to move into a private room to do the closed sessions, and then when we come out of closed session to have a determination regarding the student hearing, we'll open the door and see if the media is still here, so that they can hear the results of the closed session. So, thank you. We will take a recess and move to a different location so we can go into closed session.